Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the dude manning the counter, Duncan, and today we're going to talk about a thriller from 1996 called Maximum Risk, starring Jean Claude Van Damme, Natasha Henstridge, Jean-Hugues Anglade, and Zach Grenier. This was the American debut of Hong Kong action director Ringo Lam, and it was an exciting collaboration at the time because Van Damme was one of the biggest action stars in the world at the time. So to put two action guys together like that, it was very exciting, and the results were awesome. So this movie, the plot is pretty interesting overall. The movie starts out right away with a chase sequence in the south of France, and two FBI agents are chasing down a guy named Mikhail Suvorov. He's played by Van Damme. He ends up getting killed at the beginning of the movie in a cool chase sequence. And then Van Damme, his other character is Alain Moreau, and he is a cop in France and a former Special Forces soldier. And Sebastian, his best friend and fellow cop, played by Jean-Hugues Anglade, he comes and sees him and gives him a big hug. He sees him at a funeral of a major they knew. And he's like, "Come with me. I can't believe you're alive." And he takes him to an ambulance, and he pulls over the cover, and Van Damme's character, Alain Moreau, he sees himself. He's like, "What is this?" He's like, well, he was staying at a hotel. Let's go look more into it. And he's like, Sebastian was like, "I'm not sure I want you investigating this any further." And he's like, "Look, I'm involved. Did you see that guy?" So he goes and does that. And the thing that's cool with the interaction between these two is he could tell Alain Moreau has never really been happy. He's been kind of incomplete. And so Alain, when he sees his dead twin brother, he's wondering if this may be a lot of the cause of that. And so he goes and he talks to his mother, and his mother's like, "I should have told you, but I was sick and too weak to nurse both of you. I had to put one of you up for adoption." And, Alain was like, "Why did you choose me?" And she was like, "I couldn't do that. So, the adoption agency took it because you were crying, so they took Mikhail and said he was going to a good family." So he wants to get to know his twin brother. Maybe this will help give him some feeling of completeness, I guess. So he wants to get to know his brother. He's like, "If I don't do this, I'll regret the rest of my life." And Sebastian even told him, like, "You might not like what you find." He ended up dead, and it could be ugly. But he goes to New York anyway to learn more about his brother, where he lived, who his friends were, or whatever. And he had this message at the hotel of Mikhail's that said Alex Bohemia. So when he gets to New York, he wants to find Alex Bohemia. But he goes to one of Mikhail's old stomping grounds in New York. And what he discovers there, he discovers more things about Mikhail that, he had it rough. Like, his adopted family kind of disappeared, and they weren't sure why or what happened to them. Mikhail was 16 years old in a rough neighborhood, so he had to be pretty tough. And, he ended up joining the Russian mob in New York, which had a strong presence there, so he wanted to be part of that. And so that's where the story gets on. And as he talks to some people in New York, they're like, "Go back home. This is going to get uglier. You're really going to find some bad things here." But Alain says, "I want to get to know my brother." And he finds out who Alex Bohemia is because some people in New York told him there's a Bohemia club in Little Odessa where the Russian mob's presence is very prominent there. So he goes and he looks around and he finds Alex. And it turns out that is Mikhail's girlfriend, played by the beautiful Natasha Henstridge. And, he eventually fesses up who he really is. And she wasn't completely surprised that Mikhail's life had caught up to him. But the Russian mob is pissed because they think Alain is Mikhail. And so they want to talk to him, and he doesn't know why. So he's got the Russian mob after him. The FBI finds out there's a twin brother, so they're after him too. So this gets more complicated. And now Alex is mad at him because he's like, you just painted a big target on my back. Now the Russian mob wants to kill me. And the FBI is after me too. So I can't go home and I can't go to work. So now I'm stuck with him. And that's kind of explored here. And I really liked that. That Alon is realizing the consequences of his actions, that other people were being affected by my wanting to get to know my twin brother when people were like, this could get ugly. But he wants to see it through now because he's got no choice. And he uncovers, and this plot is laid out beautifully, that there's some FBI agents collaborating with the Russian mob, and Mikhail had information on that. And he was kind of looking for a way out because he realized there was still some good in him, that everything he touched in his life turned to poison, and he found out about his brother, and he tells him that. He leaves a recorded message like, I hope we can be together again, but we can't. If we can't, I want you to know that, and this is why I kind of, held back. And, that's all explored here. It has rich characters, and they all have different motivations that are played out beautifully here. And the thing I like too here is the wintry setting. It's kind of gray and gritty, and there's some snow, and it's just not that pleasant, kind of like Mikhail's life. And I think that was part of the tone of this movie that explained it. Also, let's get into the action. There's car chases in the south of France. There's car chases in Nice, France. So the narrow streets and the little cars, they get those cars to do some amazing things. There's shootouts in New York. There's a shootout in a strip club. There's a fight in a Russian bathhouse. And there's just all kinds. There's fights in the elevator, in a bank. I mean, just everywhere. There's just action in different sequences. And the thing I liked about this is there's not the quick cut edits or obvious CGI. This was all practical, and it looks great to tell this story. And another thing here is the acting was all very good. Van Damme was real good. I thought this is one of his strongest at the time. And the reason I love this movie so much, it's also, I can't believe it's 25 years old now. But I miss these modest budget thrillers, that, have practical effects, but a good cast and some great stuff and different scenes. And, everything here is done so well, and that's what I really miss. Now it's either really cheap or an expensive blockbuster, and this is one of the best, those modest budget action movies that I've ever seen. And it was also one of Van Damme's, maybe his last. No, that was Expendables 2. This was his last, where he was a lead. His #1 movie at the box office. I saw it opening weekend in the theater. But here, it's just great. And one thing I really like, the subtle touches of this movie, is at the end, which I'm not giving away, but the tone of the movie, how I talked about the wintry setting. In this time, there's brightness, and, it shows that Alon is maybe going to find some peace and happiness now. And I like that, how you could see the trees coming back, and there was sun out. And that, I think that was kind of a way to show where his character had progressed. So I thought that was all really good. So anyway, I highly recommend this movie. And Netflix has been streaming some of Van Damme's older movies, and this is on there. So if you're looking for something on Netflix, check this out because it's really good. So it has all the stuff action fans will love. So anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for checking in, and if you like older movies or undiscovered gems, give Video Mania 2 a subscribe, and give it a like too. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, take care till next time.